My name is Courtney, and I'm very passionate about helping women with invisible illnesses realize that you can still lead a pretty healthy and active lifestyle. It's just not going to be the one you had envisioned for yourself, but what else are you going to do about it? Um, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I've been kind of griping about this, but man, I don't understand. I have been off of this Cymbalta now for quite some time, and I have no freaking energy at all. I don't want to do anything. And it's not even it's not even that I'm having really high pain days. I mean that they haven't been fantastic, but I'm used to pain. I can deal with that. This is just I don't know. I mean, it still hurt. That hasn't gone away. It's just I don't know. It's different. It's weird, and I don't like it. It's getting really old, and it's pissing me off. But at any rate, it's been about 3 months since I covered this one, and there's 4 or 5 topics directly tied to living with chronic illness that I like to cover every few months because I think it's so important. This information, by the way, is from a website called themighty.com, and the Mighty can be a really valuable resource for people who are dealing with health issues and or disabilities. That being said, just word of caution, any kind of support group where you're dealing with people and health issues, they can be negative. And I'm not saying that to put anybody down because I've been there and I understand completely where they're at. But I always issue this word of caution because if you're new into this world, this community, this realm, whatever the hell you want to call it, it can be really shocking at first. At least it was for me to get out there. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful to connect with people who can understand. And then a lot of these websites, I'm not saying the Mighty is like this. I haven't spent a lot of time on their message boards, but just generally speaking, chronic illness websites, message boards can get really down really quick. So just keep that in mind. And it's not saying there's not helpful information out there. There's not saying that you can't make some beneficial connections. Just go into it knowing that, hey, I've got to be extra careful with what I'm ingesting here because, you're still responsible for the content that you decide to allow into your life. So if you're overwhelmed with negative content online, you better take a look at your browsing habits, says the girl who loves Twitter, which is a notorious dumpster fire. But anyway, here are some things you can do to support a loved one who has a chronic illness. Number 1, check in. Look, we withdraw. We withdraw because we don't want to be whiny. We withdraw because it's a burden. It's a burden for us. We know it's a burden for you. No one wants to hear about it. Nobody wants to be around Debbie Downer. When you reach out, it lets us know that you haven't forgotten us. Number 2, listen. Listen and don't judge. You don't understand. You can't understand. You know what? That's okay. You don't have to. Have an open heart. Have a little empathy. It doesn't cost you anything to be kind. I really, truly always try to assume the best in others, even when they say things that are really inelegant or even when they're just being a jerk. But don't, for goodness sakes, please don't say to somebody who deals with chronic pain, well, everybody hurts sometimes. Well, no shit. We know that. But there is a vast difference between you hurting your occasional aches and pains and us hurting pretty much 24/7. And if you can't see that there's a huge difference there, I don't know what to tell you. But as someone who tends to give people the benefit of the doubt, I got to tell you, that's one thing that really sets me off. That's a quick way for me to assume that you're just a horse's butt. Don't offer unsolicited advice. Now, I will tell you, in all of my experience, all my years of dealing with this and talking to other people who deal with chronic pain and or health issues, I'm a lot more open-minded in this area. I would rather have the same article presented to me a billion times than miss one really good piece of information that I don't have. That being said, most of the people that I know in the chronic illness space, they don't want to hear it. We are up to here with medical people. We have had so many things thrown at us and pitched to us. And well, if you just try this, and if you just try that, you don't understand. So please don't suggest things. Hey, you've probably seen this 100 times, but I ran across this and it made me think of you. That's going to be far more better received than you need to do this. You don't know what we need. You don't. Sorry, doctors barely know what we need a lot of the times. You need to understand when we ask you to listen. Look, if somebody, this is just my experience here, but if somebody who deals with chronic pain is comfortable enough with you to really let you peek behind the curtain, I guess, for lack of a better expression, and we open up to you. I'm really open in general. You know, oh, I'm tired, oh, I'm achy, but I don't often go into specifics. So if I trust somebody enough to go into specifics, it's pretty big. That being said, one of my closest friends several years ago got really mad at me. Corey, if you're watching this, yes, I still talk about this. But she called me and she's, how are you? And so I'm okay. Well, she knew I wasn't okay. And she got really irritated. Stop telling me you're okay when I know you're not. Okay, that's fair. But it's not personal. If we choose not to discuss it with you, it's not personal. It's more that, at least in my experience, I don't want to focus on it enough to put it into words. So I'm always okay. I'm fine. I'll be fine. I'll manage. And I've been told that that's really negative. Well, no, it's not, because when you're like, okay, not quite up to there, you're like about here and you're just not sure how you're going to keep your chin above water, being okay, that's a pretty flipping good place to be when you're close to the end of your rope. It really is. I don't know. Maybe healthy people just can't get that. Anyway, number 3, roll with the punches. Yes, we know that it's inconvenient when we cancel plans at the last minute again. It's not about you. Don't make it about you. Look, unless it's a once in a lifetime experience that you're missing out on, instead of getting all pissed off and pouty about it, why don't you be a really amazing friend? I'm sorry you don't feel good. How about I'll go pick up your favorite dinner. I'll combine. We'll just hang out and then go over and be a low maintenance guest. Better yet, go over there and take care of them. You know, don't get up. I'll get us some drinks. What do you need? Of course, if you're not a low maintenance guest, you're not going to be in my house. People are always surprised because I'm very outgoing. I'm extremely outgoing, but my gosh, can I be introverted? And yeah, if I like you enough that you're in my space, you are definitely a low maintenance kind of friend, or you wouldn't be there. Number 4, educate yourself. That's something. And look, I'm not telling you to go out and you don't need to be an expert on this stuff, but take 30 seconds, do a Google search, get just a basic overview. You would be amazed, 1, at how few people do that, and 2, how far that will go with somebody. Or maybe you wouldn't be amazed. I don't know. But very few people bother to do that. And you know what? You can always ask. Hey, I heard this about fibromyalgia. What's the deal? I would far rather that you came to me with a direct approach than talked about it behind my back. Number 5 thing that you can do to support people with chronic illness: don't attend the pity party. I can throw a hell of a pity party. Of course, I'm very positive. I am very positive. I am very good at finding the blessings in my life, because, you know, even on the roughest days, there's something to be grateful for. And I know this. But even I have pity parties. And when I'm having a pity party, you know what? I don't need you to feel sorry. I got to tell you, that is one thing that I never know what to say when I realize that someone pities me. I don't need your pity. For God's sakes, I don't need your pity. I have a few challenges, sure, but I don't need your freaking pity. Save your pity for somebody else. You know what we need from you? We don't need your pity. We need your encouragement. Hey, I'm sorry today sucks, but you know what? Hang in there. Hey, is there anything I can do for you? You want me to bring something by? Can I run an errand? Number 6. Sorry, I'm so freaking tired. Don't become an enforcer. I was going to say, y'all be surprised at how many people do this, but maybe you wouldn't. But you know what? Sometimes I go out and I throw caution to the wind and I do all the things I'm not supposed to do. And guess what? That's on me. It's not your responsibility to tell me, oh, that's a bad idea. It's not your responsibility to, if you eat that, if you drink that, if you do that, you're going to, I know. I'm far more aware of it than you are ever going to be. Don't be my enforcer. I don't need you to be my conscience. I need you to be supportive, not judgmental. And you have no idea. So, you know what? Sometimes it is so easy to get caught up in this. Our lives are spent on a tightrope, and it's a constant game of if I do this, then I'm going to go that way, and if I do that, then I'm going to go this way. So it's this constant attention on trying to keep some level of stasis, and it doesn't take much to send us cascading over the edge. So don't be judgmental when we want to just say to hell with it and throw all the precautions to the wind and just go out and be normal people. And finally, number 7, just accept us. Things have changed. We know that. We can't do the things that we used to be able to do. We know that. We are so much more aware of that than you're going to ever be. We didn't ask for these changes. They've been foisted upon us. It is what it is. You need to understand. This kills me that this has to be explained, but it does. Sorry, I should have pulled my hair back. Chronic, it means just that. It means it's never going to go away. It means that there will be good days. It means there's going to be not so good days. It means there's going to be some pretty freaking horrible days. But it is what it is, and it is chronic. And that means that the rest of our life is going to be on that tightrope, trying to keep that balance, trying to keep some sense of stasis, even though our stasis is so screwed up. But don't remind your friend or your loved one about the things they used to be able to do. They know. Put yourself in our shoes. How would you feel if your life has changed so drastically and you're not capable of doing the things that you want to do, that you know you can do? You could do if you just had the energy. If you could just get the brain fog to lift, if you could just get the muscle aches to quiet down just a touch so you can get up and clean. We know. The best thing you can do is a good example of this. I don't know, maybe this isn't, but it popped into my head, so I'm going to tell y'all. A few years ago, I worked with a really amazing woman, and she developed COPD. She's a pretty heavy smoker. And a mutual came to me and got very upset with me. Well, you need to go tell her to quit smoking. I said, no, I don't. No, I don't. Yes, you do. You're her friend. That's your job. And I said, no. My job as her friend is to respect the fact that she is an intelligent, educated, articulate woman. My job as her friend is to love her and support her. Now, if she asked me my opinion on her smoking, absolutely, I would give it to her. But you know what? I guarantee you, with advanced COPD, she's had numerous conversations with her medical team about her smoking. What the hell good is it going to do if I nag her? Nothing. It's just going to destroy the friendship. It's going to put more pressure on her that she doesn't need. Keep that in mind. Anyway, I have no elegant way to wrap this up, so I'm just going to go. I hope y'all have a great weekend. I will be back. I don't have any idea what time Monday, but I am going to get back to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. So I hope y'all have a great weekend. If you have any questions, I'm not an expert. I'm not a shrink or anything like that. All I know is I've been dealing with this crap for like 20 years now. And I used to be really, really negative and down on life. And now I'm known as somebody with a positive attitude in spite of facing some pretty hefty health challenges. And I'd be happy to share with you some of the resources, which were free, that made a big difference in my life. So drop me a line at Alaskan Courtney, and I will do my best to help you out.